Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
Welcome back to another episode of Superhuman Radio. We have a great show planned for you today. You know, we've been talking about sleep on this show for all 14 years that I've been doing this show because it's probably one of the most overlooked components of both the onset of disease and the reversal of disease states. We know that poor sleep hygiene is just as bad as no sleep. And getting better sleep should be a goal for everyone. I track my sleep 3 different ways because I'm very serious about the quality of my sleep. Today's topic looks at sleep from a standpoint of sharing a bed with somebody else. Does it improve quality of sleep? Some people think it wrecks your sleep, and we're going to get into that too because we have some very vocal people in the audience that are already posting on today's thread, claiming that sleeping with somebody else destroys your sleep. Maybe that's true of us older folks who tend to have a harder time sleeping and seem to wake up a lot and maybe snore and things like that. And we're going to get to the bottom of that in just a second. First, we have to thank our title sponsor, Legendary Foods. EatLegendary.com is the website. Use the code SHR to get 10% off your entire purchase. They have the greatest nut butters in the world. Last night, I felt like a snack, and I didn't want any garbage. And I opened up a jar of their apple pie. I think it's cinnamon apple pie, or it's apple pie nut butter. And I had 2 spoonfuls of it, and I was so satisfied, and there's no sugar in it, but it tastes decadent. You feel like you're cheating, but you're not. They also have seasoned almonds and, of course, the tasty pastry, which is a Pop-Tart with 9 grams of high-quality protein and less than 1 gram of sugar, worthy not only for you, but your children. Go to eatlegendary.com. Use the code SHR. Show them some love. Let them know that you learned about them here on Superhuman Radio. Let's get my guest on. Open up his microphone and just put up this here. So we're talking today with Dr. Henning Drews, all the way from Germany. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Drews. Welcome.
Hi. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, sleep is probably the most overlooked, most important single component that most people have control over correcting that will have the greatest impact on not only their health, but their perceived quality of life, in my humble opinion. You think that I'm going too far with that statement?
But, I'm in the field, so yeah.
Okay, we're having just a little bit of connectivity problem, but it'll disappear. So anyway, why did you do this study? What work preceded this that this study needed to be looked at?
Well, I mean, it's a highly interesting topic, isn't it? I mean, half of the adult population in Western societies sleep with a significant other. So I think you want to definitely know if that's impacted.
Yeah, the quality of the audio is really, really poor right now. It's just too much breaking up. And do you want to try connecting from your phone real quick and just see if that's any better? If you can go to the original email I sent you in your phone and just click that link, and then we can drop the browser that you're on right now. We're just having some wireless connectivity issues right now. And then we'll pick this right back up with the question I asked. So stay tuned, everybody. Don't disappear yet, because this is going to be and we have a lot of good comments already. John Mills, whose name doesn't show up, but I know it's him, is the one that says, I'm calling BS on this one. It makes zero logical sense. Snoring, excessive movement, etc., can only disrupt sleep. We're going to get to the bottom of this in just a moment, so stay tuned. Are you able to find that link in your phone?
Yeah, no, actually I have to type it in because I cannot access my mails from that phone, but I'm almost done.
we looks like we have a pretty good connection. Let's just try to roll with this. Just have that ready just in case, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Just have that. Okay, so please again, what work preceded this, or why did you have to do this study?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously very, very interesting and very relevant. About half of the adult population in Western society sleep with somebody else and with a significant other. And I personally want to know if that actually impairs my sleep or makes it better or just doesn't matter. And there were some preceding studies from other groups mainly who tracked sleep with a method called actigraphy, which basically measures sleep by measuring your movements. And they of course say if you move more, you sleep worse. And but that's a good method to measure sleep, but not the best. And we have an amazing sleep lab here, and we thought we have to use a better method to look into couple sleep. And then we first did a very small pilot study that was quite promising, because actually the couples increased or slept better in almost or in many parameters, including deep sleep and subjective sleep quality. And now we did a bigger extension study, and that was had a quite different result, which, coming back to previous studies, is actually in line with a very, very early study from 1969, which we discovered that this question has been asked that early already. And yeah, so we did that again with I think a little bit better design.
How was this particular study designed?
Our study or the from 69?
This one that you just did, the one that shows the synchronicity and the increased REM sleep.
Yeah. So we had 12 couples in our sleep lab, and they slept 4 nights, on 2 weekends. So first weekend, the second weekend, and on one weekend they slept together in this one bed, and the other weekend they slept apart. And the order was balanced. So half of the couples started with individual sleep, half of the couples started with co-sleeping. And what was, I think, very important is that we had on both weekends we had one adaptation night, so that we only used the second night for the analysis. That is very important, because that's well night effect. So when you sleep in another place for the first night, you sleep actually quite poorly.
Okay, and so now you specify in the paper that these were young, healthy couples, correct?
Right.
So right off the bat, when us old folk, we couldn't do this study because most of us have sleep problems to begin with. That could be a result of metabolic derangement or other issues, and we can't avoid the 5,000-pound gorilla in the room, and that is obstructive sleep apnea, which a large portion of the population suffers from today, which makes them snore so loud that their partner is kept awake all night as well. So the person suffering from sleep apnea has a horrible night's sleep because it's fragmented. They're constantly being aroused. And the person sleeping with them is constantly being aroused as well because of their snoring. Had you looked at that group, I'm sure you would have seen something completely different.
That's very well possible. Yeah. So we didn't look at them at this group. We controlled only human snoring, our analysis as well, but it's very important to note that that our young couples, there were only few participants who snored at all. That was very, very light snoring, only for a few minutes during the night.
Yeah, so, the audio is really, really poor. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to go ahead and run our first commercial right now. And if you could go ahead and connect using your cell phone, I have a strong feeling that the cell phone will have a much better quality of image and audio, and we can get rid of this problem, because otherwise it's going to make the quality of the interview difficult for anyone to follow. So we're going to run a quick commercial break much earlier than we normally do. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. I promise.
All right.
Men and women, you've heard about hormone optimization. Do you feel like it's something you want to look into? RenewLifeRx.com is the place to start. Their doctors can help you with the solutions. RenewLifeRx.com has a simple process for lab work, consultation, and taking a deep dive into where your hormone levels can be improved. Superhuman Radio listeners get 30% off your initial lab work and consultation. Go to RenewLifeRx.com to schedule your no-obligation phone consultation today. Feel younger, get in better shape, and be more productive at RenewLifeRx.com.
I love beef. And if you love beef, listen up. I've discovered the best tasting beef in the world, and that's not an exaggeration, at Piedmontese.com. The Piedmontese breed is famous from Italy for being lean and unbelievably tender with half the fat and calories of traditional beef. Even typically tough cuts are tender when it comes from the Piedmontese cows. And for the first time ever, Piedmontese cows are being raised here in the USA. Get 2 free 10-ounce New York strips when you purchase $50 or more at Piedmontese.com with code SHR. Go to PIEDMONTESE.com and use code SHR today. You will never eat any other type of beef ever again. Whether your goal is to build muscle or burn fat, you'll find everything you need at Redcon One. Need help getting a good night's sleep? Try Fade Out, or the most popular pre-workout supplement on the market today, Total War. Sign up for their new Transformation Challenge and win $10,000, or shop for apparel that people at the gym will know that you are serious about your training. Need a testosterone booster that works? Check out Boomstick. Whatever you need, you'll find the best quality supplements on the market at Redcon One. Go to redcon1.com. That's REDCON, the number 1.com, or go to superhumanradio.net and click the Redcon One banner ad today. You've heard about blood flow restriction training since 2006 on SHR, but you're still on the fence. Well, here's the push. BFR is more effective at building muscle than anabolic steroids. That's right, I went there, but it's because it's the truth. My experience with the Be Strong blood flow restriction system is proof to me, and now I'm asking myself why I waited so long. You'll see undeniable changes in the targeted muscles in days and weeks like nothing you've ever tried before. I will never stop using them. Give Be Strong a try. Go to BSTRONG.training/super-human and use code SHR for 10% off. Do you remember those delicious toaster pastries you had when you were a kid? You know, the rectangular sugar-filled snacks? Well, guess what? Legendary Foods has just made low-carb toaster pastry. This is the first of its kind, and honestly, these things are amazing. They have 3 to 4 net carb, less than 1 gram of sugar, and 9 grams of protein. You can eat them right out of the wrapper or lightly toast them. The only question is, which flavor? Strawberry or brown sugar cinnamon? They're available at eatlegendary.com and Amazon.
New Mass Pro Synthogen X2 just upped its own legendary game. To distance itself even further from the rest of the pack, Synthogen X2 now has double the key active ingredients. If you've ever wondered what steroid-like recovery feels like, Synthogen X2 delivers. See why others compare it favorably to powerful bodybuilding drugs at Synthogen.com. Mass Pro Synthogen. When you train with it, you'll gain with it.
This is the Superhuman Channel, doing reps with the weight of the world.
Welcome back. I think we have a better image and hopefully quality of audio. We're talking today with Dr. Henning Drews about his recent paper on couples sleeping together. Hi, you sound perfect now. Very good.
Great.
Yeah. So getting back to the study at hand, it was with young, healthy adults. We have a comment that I want to bring up now because Chrysis, I'm sorry, that's Ivosu, wrong one here. Chrysis Fox makes a good point. She says, I'm assuming Chrysis is a guy or girl. I'm sorry, Chrysis, if I'm getting this wrong. But when this person lived in Germany, they slept with separate mattresses pushed up next to each other, which obviously would have a great impact on the movement of the other person. Was this one single mattress that they were sleeping on in your study?
No, but 2 mattresses and 2 duvets as well.
So see, that does change things a little bit because now you have an independent mattress where if I move a lot, you don't feel it, which maybe that's the answer. Maybe that actually would increase the quality of sleep for couples sleeping together. It's just another thought.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we do have 2 mattresses at home.
See, that's a subtlety that had Chrysis not pointed it out, we would have never been able to factor that into the discussion. Okay, so these groups, they slept together, they slept apart. Each of these transitions had a 1 night sleeping acclimation period, because as you pointed out before, when you first sleep in the new surroundings, the first night you just don't sleep good, which is accurate. So go on, describe the rest of the study. So what did you do, and what did we learn?
Yeah, so we used a method or monitoring technique called polysomnography, which is used in sleep labs quite routinely, but it's a very beautiful technique since you can measure a variety of parameters. You know, you start with the EEG, the brain waves, and then you have eye movement, muscle tension. You measure the respiration. You can have a snoring microphone attached to the neck, and you have a full or an ECG. You measure leg movement, so you've got the full picture of how the sleep is actually being. And one of the tricks we did is that we put the polysomnography or polysomnographs on both individuals of the couple, and it was actually quite tricky. We managed to synchronize the devices very exactly, so that we then could measure synchronization on a very, very good level of synchronization of their sleeps. Yeah.
Okay, and so what did you find in this study? What did you discover?
Well, we did find there were 3 main findings. The first was that, or actually 4 main findings. The first was that their rapid eye movement sleep, so-called dream sleep, increased about 10%, which is, they increased from 21% to 23%, I guess, a night. And the second, and also regarding REM sleep, it was very much, stabilized. So they had, it was less fragmented. So they had, when they slept individually, their longest continuous REM sleep period was about, 13 minutes probably, around that. And when they slept together, they had more than 20 minutes. So that's a significant difference.
Yeah.
And so that was REM sleep. The second was that they actually had more movements. And that was somewhat surprising, since we didn't find any other disturbed sleep as any other sleep parameter to be disturbed. And as I said before about actigraphy, which measures sleep through movements, you would expect that if one moves more, the sleep gets disturbed. But that wasn't the case actually in our couples. And the next interesting finding was that we actually saw a marked synchronization of their sleep patterns, and that was not due to the wake episodes. So even when we excluded the wake episodes, they still had a very much more synchronized sleep when they slept together as compared to sleeping apart.
So there's a phenomenon called reticulum memory that during sleep. So if you move into a new apartment and there is a tavern downstairs, the first few nights you'll be awakened by the noise and the jukebox and the people, but then all of a sudden that becomes part of reticulum memory, and it no longer wakes you up. It still occurs, but the body compartmentalizes, the brain compartmentalizes that as a normal occurrence, and we don't have to wake up for that. Do you think that movement is added to that compartmentalization? So when you sleep with somebody, they usually move pretty much the same way every single night, and your body goes, oh, that's just my mate moving, and so I don't have to be aroused by that?
I would think so, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's also interesting that there are some studies regarding snoring, and there are also mixed findings how disturbing the snoring of the partner is actually for the sleeper. So there are also individuals who can adapt very well to the snoring, and yes, I would say that the movements, if they are from your partner and you're used to it, then it probably doesn't disturb you anymore. Yeah.
I have a theory on that. So there are people who are easily agitated, Lots of things make them angry, like children playing outside, which should be a joyous thing. They get angry about that. And I think that people who are of that kind of personality, they lay there in bed and they think that this person is snoring, and they become angered by it. There are other people who hear noises and know that it's no big thing, and it's not a personal affront to them. Someone isn't doing it on purpose to agitate them. They just fall asleep even with all the noise around them. And so it's sometimes I think personalities get in the way of good sleep. That's just my own experience in seeing people in life occurrences. So the synchronization part fascinates me. And here's why. If we know that movements become ignored, then we can't say the synchronization is a result of the lack of movement or the introduction of movement. So we know when in deep sleep, muscles literally become somewhat paralyzed. Breathing becomes very shallow and slow. But if you don't pay attention to that, why would they synchronize? Is there any evidence that we know that there's energy in the brain? We know, we can see it. We can measure it. You're measuring it with the somnography. Do we think that there's some sort of energy interpretation between the two heads that are sleeping next to each other?
I don't know. That's a very good question, but I no idea. It would be very cool to be able to show that it's actually like two bodies becoming one. Like one joint system, right? Yeah, but that's a very interesting question. There is, however, one very interesting study from a Korean or Japanese group. They actually measured synchronization of heart rhythms during sleep, and they actually claim that it's due to the very slight vibration of the matrices, that heart rhythms are able to synchronize. Which again, in our setup, that would be it's unlikely because we had the two
separate
matrices.
beds.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't be unlikely if our bodies sense energy. So we know the heartbeat is an electronic impulse. We know that it is. With the circuitry in the heart is firing using chemicals to create electrical rhythms. And so it's quite possible that even though we aren't aware of it consciously, that we have the ability, because there's evidence that the body is sensitive to electromagnetic pulses. We see this. We see it's bad for us and good for us. We know that things like the Schumann resonance, or Schumann resonance, whatever you want to call it, that comes from the earth. Our body actually recognizes that 6.2 hertz or 4.7 hertz, depending on where you are in the globe. And we also know that things like 60 cycle can impede the ability for the pineal gland to produce melatonin. So clearly we attenuate. We clearly attenuate. We sense these things, even though it's not on a conscious level. It's quite possible that we sense the person's heartbeat next to us.
Possibly, yeah. But I think there are also, possible other explanations that, for example, smell is probably a very potent mechanism that's also working subconsciously. Then the breathing, respiratory rhythm, that sound just of the breathing, because you have for example, in REM sleep, the breathing gets, it's not that rhythmic, and it's right. So that might be perceived, and maybe that's how you actually synchronize, that they synchronize during REM sleep, and so I think there are other ways of also, but that has to be studied, of course, because it's.
So let's talk about REM sleep for a second. So if we look at sleep and we think of it as a depth, like in the ocean, right? So deep sleep, there's several stages of deep sleep. They're down here, very, very little activity in the body. The body is almost motionless, maybe. Sleeping becomes deep, breathing becomes deep and shallow. REM sleep is just below awake. REM sleep is actually slightly above what would be considered light sleep. Is it possible that because we're sleeping with this person, that they keep us closer to the threshold of getting close to awake, so REM sleep is easier to occur?
I don't know. I mean, first of all, REM sleep is not very close to being awake. It's actually REM sleep. It consists of two phases: the phasic and the tonic aspect. And the phasic aspect is actually you sleep very deeply, so it's very hard to awake you from that state.
Really? Okay.
So, and that's probably the part of the REM sleep where all the processing, the brain processing actually happens, right? And then REM sleep is actually a very productive state of sleep. There's lots of things going on in the brain, right? Memory formation and emotional processing.
Memory consolidation all happens during REM sleep. You put everything on the hard drive. You reorganize it during REM sleep.
Reorganization is the key word. You have also deep sleep and REM sleep are both very important for memory consolidation, but the corticalization, where the memory content gets stored and connected to previously learned memories and so on, where it's it reaches a higher level of abstraction. So that's mainly the REM sleep part. And right. So the question was why couples might increase, or why your partner might increase REM sleep, increase REM sleep. I think there may be two possible answers to that question. The first could be REM sleep is also a very vulnerable state. It's if you're
right because you're so locked in. That is the time that you're most vulnerable to someone to maybe come into your room and you wouldn't even know it.
Exactly.
So because you have somebody else with you, you have a greater sense of safety.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Right.
Wow.
So that would be one explanation, right? And the other is very different. The other is that REM sleep is actually the time of the night where your body has troubles maintaining your body temperature. And so your partner next to you might actually help to stabilize the ambient temperature, and so thus your body temperature. And that's how the REM sleep could happen longer. So that would be the other day.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Talk about the relationship between social support and sleeping with a partner. Those who had less of a social network in their life gained the most from sleeping with a partner. Did I interpret that part of the study correctly?
Yes, almost. Okay. We only asked for social support from the partner, so it was not a social network, but how they felt supported by their partner. But that was the other part was absolutely correct, that those who had all had above average support levels. So we're talking about those who had a very perfect feeling of support and those who were slightly below that. But those who had let me call it suboptimal level of social support, those were the individuals who benefited more from sleeping with a partner. And that's very interesting because I don't know why. It might be that for these people it was that the presence of the partner is actually a sign of social support, that they the presence per se is that they feel supported, and if on the other hand, if the partner is away, they might have this very little hint of a doubt of their partner's support, which then puts them into stress, and therefore they suppress their REM sleep. Maybe that could be one explanation, but we don't know. Should be tested.
Did you look at any hormonal milus during sleep? Did you draw blood from these individuals during sleep?
Unfortunately not. We should have, or saliva would be very nice, to get cortisol levels or anything like that. That would be
oxytocin
as well.
That would be an important indicator of what you're talking about right now, because we know that when we feel connected to somebody, if someone hugs us, or even during intimate moments of making love, our body surges with oxytocin. I'm willing to bet that sleeping with someone probably creates a greater trough, if you will, of oxytocin production throughout the night. It would be interesting to see if that's accurate.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
What about the level of or quality of the relationship in and of itself? There would seem to be some indication that those who had stronger relationships with their partner saw a greater effect from sleeping together, right?
Yeah. In terms of synchronization, right? They synchronized better. Mm-hmm.
So does that just come back to the support, the social support feelings? If you have a deeper relationship, if there's a lot of connection throughout the day, a lot of intimacy, and so you feel a stronger bond to this person, that translates to deeper sleep or better sleep?
Well, I think there are two answers to that. The first is that in our study, it is important to note that the depth of relationship, that they were always better synchronized when they slept together. So I don't know, right, how it would be, or how that exactly fits into the general notion that if your relationship is deeper, you sleep better. But there have been other studies from other groups that show that there is a relationship between mainly conflict and of course the opposite, relationship functioning and other sleep parameters. Not so on the sleep stage level, but like having disturbed sleep on a general level.
Was there any indication of a difference in men versus women in this study, especially as it relates to men typically pulse testosterone around 2 a.m. in the morning? And would arousal or sexual arousal, even nocturnal tumescent erection, impair the quality of a man's sleep? If he's sleeping with the woman that he's making love to, and he can smell her, he knows she's next to her, and he becomes aroused at night, that he would be awakened?
We didn't find any difference in terms of gender differences, but yeah. That's also a matter of discussion, actually, because there have been in those actigraphic studies, it's generally men who benefit more from sleeping with a partner, or on the other hand, or women that benefit less. So there's one study who says that men benefit more, and another study that says that women have actually worse sleep. Right? But in our study, there was no difference. And likewise, in that very early study from 1969, that also did not find any difference between the sexes.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and take our break. And when we come back, we'll wrap it up. We'll talk about the conclusions of this study and what we can take away from it. I'm starting to think that, couples who have been married for 50, 60 years and been sleeping together for 50, 60 years, and then one partner dies, and we always hear that story that the other partner dies a year later. And I wonder, aside from just the loneliness, if the quality of sleep changes so dramatically that it leads them into things like the onset of dementia and other diseases. I don't know if you have any insights into that, but let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more Superhuman Radio. Are you still on the fence about Body Protection Complex BPC Oral from drseeds.com? Listen to Maggie Kuhn, one of the owners of the C-Bus Lifting Company gym in Columbus, Ohio.
I had been having some nagging tendon issues that weren't injuries, just things that were annoying. I'm 58 years old, so just older tendon kind of issues. For us powerlifters, we really don't stop training when we have just nagging issues. We just kind of keep pushing through. And I started the BPC. What I noticed was I was doing some heavy tricep stuff that would have killed me before when I had an elbow problem, and I was able to do this with literally no pain at all.
Go to drseeds.com, drseeds.com. Use coupon code SHR and save 20% off your bottle of BPC Body Protection Complex today.
Quest Nutrition makes bars, cookies, chips, and pizzas out of complete dairy-based proteins. Our products minimize net carbs and sugar without sacrificing taste. Each delicious chocolate-flavored chip, cookie chunk, and crunchy crumble is custom made to maintain Quest macros. It's time to enjoy foods that work for you, not against you. It's time to enjoy your Quest.
You've heard me talk about the chill pill on the show and how effective it is at helping people who suffer from social anxiety, or sometimes when you just want to take the edge off to a long, stressful day. Well, listen to this story from Dylan Goutreau.
Definitely takes the anxiety away, which I have a long history of having. Started out at 2 milligrams a day of Xanax. That was at 8 years old. And so I stopped using benzos 3 years ago. Extremely difficult. Yeah, so I spent about 3 years trying to find anything and everything I could that would be healthy for me to help with anxiety. Because I'm talking, full out panic attack. The chill pill was the first thing that I found that actually in the middle of a panic attack I can take, and it definitely subsides.
Go to drseeds.com. That's DRSEEDS.com. Use coupon code SHR and save 20% off your first bottle of the chill pill. Check it out. I promise this is one supplement that delivers. I love beef. And if you love beef, listen up. I've discovered the best tasting beef in the world, and that's not an exaggeration, at Piedmontese.com. The Piedmontese breed is famous from Italy for being lean and unbelievably tender with half the fat and calories of traditional beef. Even typically tough cuts are tender when it comes from the Piedmontese cows. And for the first time ever, Piedmontese cows are being raised here in the USA. Get 2 free 10-ounce New York strips when you purchase $50 or more at Piedmontese.com with code SHR. Go to Piedmontese.com and use code SHR today. You will never eat any other type of beef ever again. Hey, this is Carl. For 14 years, you've heard me talk about Can-C eye drops, and they being the reason that I do not need reading glasses at now 61 years old. But I regularly get emails and messages from people who've been using Can-C and having some amazing results. Recently, I got an email from a fella named Chad, who, because he was on dexamethasone eye drops for over 6 months, developed a cataract. Can-C eye drops actually reduced my cataract to the point where even my doctor has a hard time finding it. I will never stop using Can-C eye drops twice a day. I've been using them since 2008, he says. And you should be too. There is no better way to keep your eyes healthy and seeing clearly than Can-C eye drops. Go to wisechoicemedicine.com today and get on board, and we will both be looking into the future with very clear vision. If there is one mineral you should be worried about not getting enough of, it's magnesium. Magnesium is the body's master mineral, powering over 300 critical reactions, including detoxification, fat metabolism, energy, and even digestion is influenced by the presence of magnesium. That's why I'm so excited to tell you about a new magnesium product I've been taking now called Magnesium Breakthrough. It's the ultimate magnesium supplement, easily the best I've ever seen or experienced. With all 7 forms of magnesium, I was able to arrange an amazing deal for my audience, and I guarantee it's the best deal available on this product. Seriously, with volume discounts combined with our custom 10% coupon code SHR10, you can save up to 40% off select packages of Magnesium Breakthrough. And I promise that this deal is only available on this specific website, magbreakthrough.com/SHR. You won't find that deal on Amazon or even on the company's own website. Go to magbreakthrough.com/SHR and use code SHR10 to save up to 40% off select packages of Magnesium Breakthrough.
You're listening to the Superhuman Channel. We're ripped and we're ready.
You know, it's funny we're talking about sleep today and mattresses because I know about a great mattress. In fact, it's really a mattress that's gone through some form of evolution. It's soft where you need it, it's firm where you need it, and it keeps your temperature stabilized all night long. It's called Purple Mattress. Some of you may have heard of it. It's the mattress with the grid. I love this material because it's so intuitive. You can lay on it, it conforms to your body, but it doesn't create any pressure points where you feel like you got to roll over every now and then. And right now, my audience has a special offer. If you go to purplemattress.com/SHR and use the code SHR, you could save $150 off a $1,500 or more mattress. But here's the best part. They have mattresses starting at $599. That's right. That's unheard of. You got to go to purple.com/SHR. Use code SHR for any kind of discount. And it's a really worthy, especially the discussion we're having here. We're finding out that in Germany, they sleep on side-by-side mattresses. So sure, the person who rolls over on this side isn't disrupting the other person. But in the United States, we like to sleep on one big mattress. In fact, the bigger, the better. Well, if you have a big mattress and two people are sleeping on it, you must check out Purple Mattress at purple.com/SHR. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. Look, it's about sleep, and sleep is really one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. So check it out. And back to the show. Let's bring Dr. Drews back on. Okay, so let's talk about the conclusions of your studies. So what were the conclusions of this research?
Yeah, the first conclusion, of course, is that the myth of that a partner always disturbs your sleep is a myth, of course. So at least in our sample, we had no hint that it was the case. And also the previous study we did and the study from 1969, it all had the same conclusion, that the couple sleeping together did not disturb the brains, of their partners, right? They had more movements. They might, in that 1969 study, they had even a little bit more of awakenings when sleeping together, but their sleep was generally better. Or let's say it was not worse, and they had an improved REM sleep. And so that's of course, the first conclusion. What are the implications of that? That's a quite interesting question. One has to discuss, what's REM sleep for, of course.
Well, we know I've done shows about REM sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Scientists have shown that fragmented REM sleep leads to short-term memory problems, because what you're doing when you go through REM sleep is defragging the hard drive. All the things that you did today have to be filed by the brain so you can find them later. And that is what happens during REM sleep. It's called memory consolidation. So number one, it on a short-term basis, it impairs short-term memory. But on a long-term basis, the fragmented sleep has been shown to cause a change in the endoplasmic reticulum, which folds proteins to create cell-to-cell messages. And there was a study done that showed that the more fragmented your sleep was, the more misfolded proteins the endoplasmic reticulum made. And these misfolded proteins become plaque in the brain. And if you're not sleeping well, autophagy is being impaired. And autophagy is the mechanism that rids your body of that plaque in your brain. So the more fragmented your sleep is, you wake up, you're aroused, maybe because of your snoring or your partner snoring, or you have other metabolic issues that make it hard for you to sleep continuously. This is a sure path to dementia. We know this. Never mind, it will lead to insulin resistance as well. So your metabolic issues are going to get worse. So REM sleep is very, very important. It's a highly overlooked component of sleep. Everybody thinks deep sleep is everything. It's not everything. REM sleep is very, very important. And maybe that's why young people's brains stay intact, because they're at that age where they're getting married and they're sleeping with their partner and they have that closeness. When you get old, you have aches and pains. You don't want to sleep together anymore, and you get grumpy and moody, and all of a sudden your memory starts going too. May not be coincidental.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert in the metabolic side of sleep, so I'm from a psychiatry department, so I cannot really comment on that. I have heard, I guess, that deep sleep is also very important for that kind of processes, but it's not my main field of expertise. Right. For me, it's also very important that REM sleep has a huge impact on emotion regulation. So there are people or studies in which they experimentally only fragmented the REM sleep of people, and they have a very they interpret every stimulus more negative. So if they and that's very important for the development of mood disorders, on the long run. And there's the hypothesis that probably, REM sleep disturbances might be a risk factor for mood disturbances, right? Depression and so on. And that's from a psychiatric perspective, that is really important and might explain. I mean, it's been long been known that being in a good relationship protects from developing a mental disorder, and that might be one of the mechanisms actually.
Fascinating. I also am fascinated to learn. Thank you, Chrysis Fox, for mentioning that in Germany they sleep on side-by-side separate mattresses. That could be a big solution here in the United States. Who knows? It really could.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody in Germany does it that way, but we found it very, comfortable, of course.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. That way I'm not transferring my movement to your side of the bed. Or you could just get a purple mattress. Purple mattress is fantastic at the dampening the movement of your partner onto your side. So here we like to sleep, we have the California King, with the bed is so big that usually people have very little room to walk around in their room because the mattress is so big. Yeah, that's how we do it here in the United States.
Actually, I thought that
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I thought that everything was bigger in Texas, not in California, but it's okay.
No, California makes the biggest bed in the world. It's a California King. And once you buy one of those, your sheets cost twice as much. Everything costs twice as much because everything has to be so much bigger. So, listen, Dr. Drews, I want to thank you for making time to come on the show. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the show.
Okay. And we're going to take our last commercial break. It's going to be a really short one, I can promise you. And I'm going to tell you something I learned this weekend. I have a solution to all the problems that we think are happening here with higher education and the cost of getting a good education. In 1855, a college was started right here in Kentucky, right? Kentucky is thought to be, they're not smart in Kentucky, right? They don't wear shoes in Kentucky. Well, in 1855, the birth of a university here in Kentucky, free tuition since 1855. Students don't pay for tuition. It's the first interracial and first co-ed college in the United States. You've never heard of it, but you should hear about it because it may be the model going forward for what we need to do with all places of higher education here in the United States. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Planet Earth CBD offers a fast-acting transdermal patch that targets your aches and pains for the relief you need. Not only is the patch uniquely patented, but it is widely believed to provide larger quantities of available cannabinoids to the source of pain than other brands' subpar products. Effective for 24 to 48 hours. Experience the benefits of Planet Earth's high-quality transdermal patch. Manufactured by Next Generation Technology in an FDA-registered facility. This pressure-sensitive adhesive delivers rich hemp extract directly through the skin. Be it a neck ache or a headache, you can count on CBD to take off the edge. Go to planetearthcbd.com today to learn more.
Imagine if you had a digital twin, one that you could compare your own health and fitness outcomes to, one that showed you whether or not the things you're doing, food you're eating, or drinks you're drinking are actually working for you or against you. Well, now you can. The first ever advanced epigenetic saliva test that compares 20 million different data points of your DNA to help predict what is aging you faster or keeping you younger is being introduced to my audience at a 70% discount from the normal price. Go to seeds.md/epigenetic-test today to learn how to get your own digital twin that will help you take the steps to live longer and stay stronger. Don't wait because this is a limited time offer not available anywhere else. Once these tests are gone, they're gone. Again, go to seeds.md/epigenetic-test today to learn more. Do you remember those delicious toaster pastries you had when you were a kid? You know, the rectangular sugar-filled snacks? Well, guess what? Legendary Foods has just made low-carb toaster pastry. This is the first of its kind, and honestly, these things are amazing. They have 3 to 4 net carb, less than 1 gram of sugar, and 9 grams of protein. You can eat them right out of the wrapper or lightly toast them. The only question is, which flavor? Strawberry or brown sugar cinnamon? They're available at eatlegendary.com and Amazon. You've heard me talk about the chill pill on the show and how effective it is at helping people who suffer from social anxiety, or sometimes when you just want to take the edge off to a long, stressful day. Well, listen to this story from Dylan Goutreau.
Definitely takes anxiety away, which I have a long history of having. Started out at 2 milligrams a day of Xanax. That was at 8 years old. And so I stopped using benzos 3 years ago. Extremely difficult. Yeah, so I spent about 3 years trying to find anything and everything I could that would be healthy for me to help with anxiety. Because I'm talking, full out panic attack. The chill pill was the first thing that I found that actually in the middle of a panic attack I can take, and it definitely subsides.
Go to drseeds.com. That's DRSEEDS.com. Use coupon code SHR and save 20% off your first bottle of the chill pill. Check it out. I promise this is one supplement that delivers.
Men and women, you've heard about hormone optimization. Do you feel like it's something you want to look into? RenewLifeRx.com is the place to start. Their doctors can help you with the solutions. RenewLifeRx.com has a simple process for lab work, consultation, and taking a deep dive into where your hormone levels can be improved. Superhuman Radio listeners get 30% off your initial lab work and consultation. Go to RenewLifeRx.com to schedule your no-obligation phone consultation today. Feel younger, get in better shape, and be more productive at RenewLifeRx.com.
Spit that out right now. This is the Superhuman Channel.
Welcome back. I keep wanting to move this microphone closer and then I get too loud. So there you go. We have a lot of funny comments from people. I got to put these up first. So, of course, we know the one that John Mills put up where he's calling BS. But we addressed that because these are younger people that were in this study. Old people have problems. They're sleeping to begin with. Ivo Su talks about his own personal experience sleeping alone or with somebody else, and he tracks his sleep with his Oura ring. I think this was Patrick Rogers. I'm not sure who put that one up. And then, of course, Chrisese Fox gave us the information about the 2 mattresses. Tommy D says, do studies also include a 90-pound snoring golden retriever who also sleeps in bed with us? No, I think that would cause anybody not to sleep well. I don't know who this is because your security settings won't allow your name to pass through. But it says, I wake up 4 times a night to pee, so no one is getting REM sleep in my bed. That's funny. And, of course, I said thank you to Chrisese for putting up the information. Chrisese, I'm sorry. I keep saying she. It sounds like a gal's name. It could be a guy's name. I apologize ahead of time. It's a better way to sleep, the 2 mattresses side by side. Also, Austria and Switzerland, they do it that way. And also that it was a great show. Thank you so much. So, I learned something really exciting this weekend. So, we can't travel right now because the COVID-19 and nothing is open. So Elisa and I have decided to see more of the state of Kentucky. And there's a little town an hour east of Lexington called Berea, Kentucky. Yeah, Patrick Rogers put that up. There you go. His name is showing up now. Thank you. Berea, Kentucky is a little town. And in Berea, Kentucky, is a college called Berea College. It was founded in 1855. Berea College in 1855 was founded on a few precepts. Number one, no one would pay for tuition. And it would be a private school, so they wouldn't ask the government for any money. What? How novel. Number two, it was the first co-ed college in the United States. Boys and girls going to school together? That can't be good. Number three, it was the first interracial college in Kentucky. Black kids and white kids, black boys and white boys sitting together in class? Oh, my word, what's going to go wrong there? Nothing. It's a fantastic college. And they don't accept everybody who wants to go there, obviously. You have to test in. But because it's a private college and they don't accept government money, they allow the people that they want into school. They have about a 40% minority African American population at the school, and the school is a first for so many things. But let's just step back for a second. All we hear from our politicians today is, oh, the government has to create money to send people to school. Berea College has a $1.2 billion endowment fund. Guess what they use it for? Tuition. They use it so that kids don't have to pay tuition. Everybody who goes to Berea College effectively is on a scholarship. And you don't have to be a rugby player. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to do so. No, you test in. You want to go to the school. You test in and you go to school. The only requirement for students at Berea College is every week they have to work 10 hours on behalf of the school. The school owns a farm store and a bunch of different businesses around the town. The students run the businesses. They get firsthand experience in running a business. They learn about it. And did I mention they go to school for free? I mean, Bernie Sanders should be talking about that there is a college in the United States, in all places, Kentucky, where nobody wears shoes and only people have one tooth, that has figured out how to give free college away. And on top of that, it was the first co-ed and the first interracial school in America in 1855. I mean, think about this. 1855, black and white boys and girls going to college for free. That is the Apple of its time. You know, we look at Apple and we look at Tesla. We look at all these amazing companies doing all these great things. 1855, that was the Apple and Tesla of its time. No one knows about it. And I think it's not accidental. I really don't. I think nobody really wants to talk about it because I think Harvard has a $2 trillion endowment fund. What are they doing with that friggin' money? What are they saving it for? Put it into tuition. Tell kids they can go to Harvard. You got to test in. That's the thing. If you're really smart, if you think, oh my God, I could go to Harvard, even though my mother's a hairdresser and my father's a truck driver. That's who I am. My mother was a hairdresser and my father was a truck driver. I could go to Harvard, even though they don't have the money to send me to Harvard. All I have to do is work in high school to get really good grades so I can test into Harvard because my tuition is paid for. Every school, every place of higher learning could do what Berea, Kentucky does. Every one of them. Now, let me tell you some other firsts about Berea College. So we hear a lot about Black history. Black History Month, Black history. Guess who started the whole Black history movement? Carter Woodson, who was a graduate in 1903 from Berea College, started the whole Black history movement. That's where it started. And it started in Berea College. I'm going to give you another name. Guess who this gal is? Her name is, she's got a long name. She must have got married quite a few times. That's all I can think of. Her name is Julia Ann Amanda Moorhead Britton Hooks. She was the first African-American woman to ever go to college in the United States. Guess what college she went to? Berea College. And she later came back to teach. She became part of the faculty. Why don't you know about Berea College? Why doesn't everyone know about Berea College? Why isn't every media outlet going, all these schools, MIT, Harvard, UCLA, all of them, here's what you need to do. Here's the model for school. Just do what Berea College does. Give everybody free education. Make them work 10 hours a week and use the money that's put into your endowment fund to put people through school. What are you sitting on that money for? What are you waiting to do with it? What, build more buildings? Spend more money on statues? No, put it into education. Make it your business to learn about Berea College. Go Google, they have a wiki page. It says everything right there. You'll be shocked. You're going to go, why have I never heard of Berea College? Why isn't anyone talking about Berea College? Berea College is, in fact, the model for what all schools should be like. And guess what? You don't need to pass an amendment. You don't need to pass a law. You don't need to use taxpayers' money. No, You use the money that's in the endowment fund already. That is what it should be used for. Think about that. In Appalachia, in little old Appalachia, the greatest college in the world exists, the model for every other college in the United States. No one is talking about it. Now you know. You cannot unring a bell. Now you know about Berea College. Now you must carry the word forward and share that information with all your friends. Ask them, have you ever heard of Berea College? Did you know that they've never charged students tuition ever since 1855? It's also the first co-ed and first interracial school in 1855. You don't know about it? Well, now you do. And we need to have our lawmakers look at this and say, why aren't more schools like Berea College? That's it. That's all I got for today. All right, we'll see you tomorrow with more Superhuman Radio. Thank you for being here and participating live. And please share the show. Thank you.